Hello, people. Welcome to episode one of Sports Talk with Cam and D. All right,
Yes, sir.
we are, two brothers, childhood friends. Love sports. Trying to give you guys some good content. You know, just from different perspectives. How you doing, bro?
I'm good. I can't complain. Ready to give my sports opinions. What I feel.
All right, bet. All right. Well, today's episode is about we're gonna do baseball. We're gonna break our segments up into different days. Different topics, so it's not all mopped together. Uh, but what you thinking about baseball this year? You know,
Um, it started off, but some people started off kind of weird. You know, especially for St. Louis. It definitely did start off
right?
weird because last season, we was hot all season. We had what 5 Gold Glove winners.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
had Paul Goldschmidt got the MVP.
Dottie,
Nolan Nolan was right behind him. That was it for Yadi. That was it for what Yadi Albert. I
yeah.
thought,
Like I felt like last season was just out of control. Like we was doing so good. Like I mean, MVPs, Gold Gloves, All Stars, young players. Like
yeah,
I'm thinking like we're gonna go to the playoffs and like really do some damage. You know what I'm saying? And
we didn't make it
then
out there.
didn't make it out the first round. But you know
We
what?
didn't make it out there.
But you know what? In terms of moral victories, I'm like at least we
Yeah,
lost to the pennant winning Phillies. You know,
yeah,
like I actually wanted them to win because they had a rough season, to be honest with you. Because
yeah,
how you start the season, you know what I'm saying, not even on anybody's radar for playoff contention. Fire
they
your
should have.
manager, right? Joe Girardi, you fired
Mhm.
him halfway through the season, right? And then the new guy just fixes everything, and I mean everything. And they make a run all the way to the World Series. That was I was like I don't mind losing to that, you know, because they got hot. You can't get mad at them. They got hot.
Yeah. That was the World Series. I remember I watched all the games. They played some.
It was a good World Series, man. It was.
I mean, the way that they lost. I mean, nobody want to lose with a foul ball going in the air. You don't nobody want to lose like
Yeah,
that.
but
I mean,
but if I'm not mistaken, wasn't it Bryce Harper batting last? If I'm
I
not
think it was.
mistaken, I think he was the last guy to hit in that World Series for them, and he was on that pitch to foul it off like
Yeah,
that. You was on it. You know?
yeah. I remember when he hit it, I was kind of like just fall into the crowd, like fell into the crowd. When he caught it, I was like, you know,
But you know what was crazy though about we'll get past last season and then go into this season, but last season to me was like kind of like a renaissance year, in a sense, because there was so much going on. You had Albert retiring, but on his home run chase for 700, right?
mhm,
We was, the last guy to do 700 was, Bonds, right? you
yeah,
know. So it kind of refreshed a lot of people's mind. Like we'll get into bonds on another episode because we can talk about bonds all day. But
yeah,
it's kind of refreshing in terms of like baseball fans to really get into it. Like oh man, this is
mhm,
like history. And for us being St. Louis boys, it's like we grew up with our Pujols, you know what I'm saying? Like he burst
mhm.
onto the scene and this guy just hitting everything. Nobody was safe in Central. when Pujols was first
Right.
coming up, nobody would say it. So it
I
was
know.
refreshing to see that. You know.
Yeah, as far as Yachty too, that was a good,
Yeah,
refreshing.
Yachty. Yeah,
Like, I like how him and Wainwright retired together. Because they didn't start together, but once Wainwright got deep in his career, they were the main duo, pitcher catcher duo for most
and,
of the game. So
and I can't believe it's people that don't consider like Yadier uh like a Hall of Famer or at least first ballot Hall of Famer. Like maybe he wasn't like Mike Piazza with the bat, you know, or a Buster Posey with the bat. You know what I'm saying? But his level of like defensive acumen was like it almost trumped that. You know what I'm saying? Like you
yeah,
could be go ahead, go ahead.
because with Yachty, it was like, okay, yeah, I got a single, but it's like, let me stay put. Don't even let me think about running, because as soon as I run, I know he gonna catch me for me trying to go from first to second.
Right.
So
Like
let me
being
let me
able
just
to
stay put.
being able to control the base paths, right? Like
Yeah,
that was his thing. Like if you was gonna steal, you was gonna have to, you know, get a good head start and and even throwing people out, like throwing from first, no, not first, but home to second, right? That's like your best bet because he'll pick you off from home to first and third. Like
yeah.
he was definitely one of the best. But fast forward to this season, what's your biggest storyline so far?
As far as well, I've been paying real attention to the Cardinals because I'm really pushing to see a turnaround. 'Cause,
True,
they started
true.
this record that they got is like we ain't never started like that before.
Not in a long time. Like it's been a while since we struggled like this. And
Like, you know,
what to me that that's a big storyline too. But as far as for the Cardinals, it's almost like we were smelling our own roses a little bit,
yeah,
and the younger teams or the teams under us, historically, kind of got sneaky good on us. You know what I'm saying? Like,
mm,
it only takes, an off season sometimes to really just fix some stuff. You know what I'm saying? To really kind of look and see what you got. You know, like I'm looking at the Pirates. You know what I'm saying? Who I think are in
yeah.
first place right now. Like us growing up, like how many times did we really worry about the Pirates as Cardinals
Because
fans?
they usually be in like fourth, fifth place, sometimes third,
Bottom feeder, you know what I'm saying?
but you
Like
never have to worry
not really, not at all. You know what I'm saying?
about it.
So, so I'm thinking like the storyline for us right now is getting to the point where we could actually use everybody. You know what I'm saying? Because we have the bats. Like that's not a problem. Like offense is not even an issue. I think it's pitching and defense for us. Like
Yeah,
we really we don't even need like a star-studded cast of pitchers. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't even need that. We just need somebody to give us like 5 or 6 good innings without like getting beat up. You know, like giving up
yeah,
6 runs, 4 runs. Like it's hard. To come back. You know what I'm saying? Like that's hard to combat when your pitching not good. You know what I'm saying? And that's a lot for us moving forward. Um,
yeah.
so but but my biggest storyline though this year is the renaissance of the young teams. You know,
Hmm.
like I mentioned, the perennial bottom feeders, like those teams is not bad anymore. You know what I'm saying?
No, they're not.
Like, I think about one team in particular that has my attention, you know what I'm saying? And that's the Orioles, man. Like
Mm.
they really just kind of, built it up. You know what I'm saying? Just consistently, drafting well and not even using, the free agent market for real. Maybe a little
Mhm.
bit, some people here, some people there, but no really big splashes, you know? Like they are really legit, like, a good young team. Remember how they were with Adam Jones and I think a young Manny Machado at the time? They
Yeah,
were
they used to be
really,
killer.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? That was a really interesting squad. And I feel like they got a lot of things trending that way. You know what I'm saying? I love the young catcher they got, Adley Rushman. Like he is gonna be probably one of the best catchers in the game for the next 10 years. You know what I'm saying? But I think it starts with him because he has really shown a lot, you know, like being a leader in the clubhouse, you know what I'm saying? But embracing the fact that he is a young player. So he's just having fun. And I think that's missing in baseball. Like a lot of the older players, older fans don't really like all that fun stuff. But I enjoy it. I enjoy them just young having fun. You know what I'm saying? Shoot, that's the way it started with baseball. You know what I'm saying? In
Yeah,
little league, having fun. You weren't getting paid back then. You was having fun. So I think
that's the point of the game.
yeah, play the game to have fun and give the fans what they want to see, you know. But I think the the Orioles is my storyline as far as young teams. You know what I'm saying? They
Mhm.
young team. I'll give you another young team, like team that's kind of on the up and up. You think about the Orioles, right? But then I
Mhm.
think about a team like the Diamondbacks. Like a team that has a crazy history, right? Like you get your team, and then you win a World Series in 2001. Against
Mhm.
the vaunted Yankees, right? You know what I'm saying? Like all of them guys, and then you just kind of teeter. You know what I'm saying? Like after that,
Yeah,
you make a couple playoffs and got a couple All-Star players, Cy Young Award winner, and Brandon Webb. I don't know if you remember him, but a couple players like that, but nothing spectacular. But now it's like they just now they coming back, you know?
yeah,
I'm like, dude, where y'all been? But they just been stockpiling talent, man. Like I like this young little outfielder they got. Like he's like stupid fast. I'm like, and the way
mhm.
the rules have changed now, where the base paths are like wide open, he's definitely gonna be like a 40 stolen base guy. Like he gotta be.
Yeah,
Gotta be. With that speed, you gotta use it. Ain't no way. You know what I'm saying? I don't even care if you use small ball tactics, right? But you might as well because he got too much speed. Like he can wreck the game in many ways. So, like, I really like Corbin Carroll, man. He's a good player, you know. So my next thing, is how you feel about the big market teams. The teams that every year spend a lot of money, and I mean, we grew up like that. You know what I'm saying with the Yankees spending money. You know, uh, the A Rods, the A Rods, the Mark Teixeira's, the CC Sabathia's, like they spend money,
yeah.
money. You know what I'm saying? So how you feel about these big market teams spending all this money? But also, how do you feel about them spending money and it not working so far?
That's the thing. Like you can't just because you've been known as a big market team, don't mean you got to do all the big spending. Like because as you know, Yankees and Red Sox always been a big market team, big spending teams. But you look at where they at right now, you know, it's kind of like what you've been spending the money on,
Right.
you know. But the Yankees, because they kept, because if they lose, what you call it, Stanton, because if they lose him, if they lose Aaron Judge and Stanton, that's like their team right there. So
Yeah. True. True. True.
because they lose them two bats right there, then that's like, you know,
Like that's your money man. You know what I'm saying? That's your
that's
three.
they two.
Yeah, that's your three and your four guy. You know what I'm saying? So you need them. You need them for sure. You know what I'm saying? But like you said, I think the money market, the big market teams, they have this thing. You know what I'm saying? Where they got a lot of capital, man, to use, right? But
Mhm.
I'm thinking like you need to really look at who you get. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like it's cool to get the big guy, you know what I'm saying? All the Aaron Judges of the world. But at the same time, you gotta really see how this guy fits. You feel
yeah,
me? Like when I think of the big contracts we've seen in the last few years going to the big market teams, um, Bryce Harper, to the Phillies. I think back in the day with us, C Sabathia, like we feel old saying back in the day, but hey, CC was
yeah,
that dude,
yeah,
right? So, but when I think of guys like that, they fit. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like if you're the Phillies, you need a guy like Bryce Harper. Like like he's a true leader. You know what I'm saying? All right. But yeah, man, the big market teams, man, they you gotta get somebody that fits, man. And Bryce Harper, CC Sabathia, they fit, what you're doing, And I think about, the Mets right now, you know. It looks good,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying? All those guys, Verlander, Scherzer, those are big market dudes, and they're a little older now. So I was like, kind of, you know, do
They
they
pushing
really?
it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, all right,
Verlander, Verlander is pushing it because like I think he should have retired last season. So he kind of pushing it a little bit.
yeah, yeah, but he did get the Cy Young, man, and he was untouchable, like,
Yeah.
untouchable, like he was getting to he's already at GOAT status, winning, three Cy Youngs, in like three different, decades, right?
Hmm.
So he's already GOAT status, right? But to spend that kind of money on a guy that kind of long in the tooth, right? It seems like a
Hmm.
stretch, you know what I'm saying? Both of them, honestly, you know what I'm saying? And then you try to get Correa, but it doesn't work out, right? So my thing is it's gotta be like a culture thing. Like
Yeah.
you can't really just spend money like that. You know what I'm saying? Like one thing that I think separates a lot of these big market teams from the Yankees, right? Since they're like the premier spender, right? You know, at least back in George Steinbrenner days, right? Is
Hmm.
that it was a culture, right? You know what I'm saying? Like all the guys kind of just they might not have got along, but when it came to like playing baseball in the clubhouse, like they just got it, and
Mhm.
they all just kind of fit together. It's a lot of expensive pieces, but it just seemed like they all just fit, you know, and they knew what to do. Like the standard was there. When I think of the Mets, like spending all this money and it not really going nowhere, I just think you just kind of putting it together and hope it sticks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, there's not much structure there. But I do like Buck Showalter as manager. Like if anybody can put it together, it's definitely Buck Showalter because he
Mm.
he he don't play. You know what I'm saying? He don't play about baseball, so he don't play. But I think he could put it together. It's just I don't like seeing like people. I don't like seeing them just put it together like and just hope it sticks. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like I just think like they in trouble. Like it just doesn't work. You know what I'm saying? Not long term anyway. You'll just you'll win like what one championship and then that's it.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Now, I guess, when you think about the grand scheme of things, like that works. But when it's time to like move on, you got these big contracts, you know what I'm saying? And not a lot of winning to go along
Yeah.
with it. You know what I'm saying? So I just think about that, man. But like I said, hopefully it works out because they are in a tough division. Like the
Yeah.
the the Braves are not like they not playing. You know what I'm saying? And us growing up, the Braves was like, the constant team, consistent, winning. Don't matter who's on the team. I mean, they keep their nucleus together. They kept Chipper Jones and the three-headed monster with Glavin Smokes and Maddox. They kept that together for a long time. Like, and now it feels like they're trying to rebuild that whole thing again. I mean, they got like a whole lineup of just guys that are just good. Like, there's no weaknesses for real. You know what I'm
Man,
saying? Like, go ahead, go ahead.
they've been doing good. They've been doing good down here. You know.
Man, that's what I'm saying. Like, where did Michael Harris come from? You know what I'm saying? And he's one of the best outfielders in the league. You know what I'm saying? Like, then you make a trade for I think his name's Sean Murphy from the A's. Like he fits. You know what I'm saying? Like just dudes that bring their lunch pail to work. You know what I'm saying? Like it's crazy, man. Like they are legit a team that's gonna, be there for a while. Like, you know, and I think they could really take note. Everybody should take note about the Braves. Like they got a secret sauce, man. Like to stay in the hunt every year. Like they really don't like when the last time you seen the Braves like struggle. Like struggle. Like we talking
2 years
we,
ago.
yeah, we talking A's, right? Struggle. So
Yeah.
yeah. So like I said, man, but let's work on this last segment, I want to get your thought on the Hall of Fame. Like, do you think it's tougher to get in now than it was, or do you think it's easier? And a person that you think should get in, or a person that should get in right now. That's
That's a
not
good
in.
question. Is it tougher or is it easier? I think back then it was tougher because it was based off your stats, like your stats, your image in the game, how well you played. So it was based off. So basically, yeah, it was based off numbers back then. As if you got into the Hall of Fame. What was your numbers like every season? Were those numbers consistent? Did they go up? Did they drop? Like, how many top plays did you make? It's like that. I think now I could say it's a little bit easier because I don't think they too much go off numbers. They kind of go off like your performance or like performance, like your team history with the team. Did you help them when they went through like the cancer season? Did you bring up that spark? Like one person I know that's going in the Hall of Fame, but no question, is Dusty Baker. No question.
Okay, okay,
Because you talk about he got over 2,000 victories. He did that without a ring on his finger. He finally got his first ring after 2,000 over 2,000 wins, and he finally got his first ring. So
okay.
that's a definite like first class. Like I would be really mad if they waited to like because that's one thing I don't like with like sports hall of fame. Sometimes they wait till like the person is like really like older than they already are, or to the point where a family member gotta accept it for them.
Yeah.
Like if they Hall of Fame material, then because they do that over in the WWE. They do that a lot. They wait until like the
So
person,
ain't nobody there to accept it, and that's what I hate.
yeah, yeah, they can't do their own Hall of Fame speech. The kids gotta accept it for them.
Okay, all right. So let me finish up my part. All right, so I think I think it's getting a little bit easier
Hmm.
because the writers back in the day, aren't they're not in the decision making process anymore. So it's a lot of younger, more advanced people looking at into these cases, which is why I think a person like Scott Rowland gets in. Like he's really good, solid player, gold gloves, all stars, everything you can think of. Like he did it. But I don't think he gets in like maybe 15 years ago because they were sticklers. But now there's like so much data to look at,
Hmm.
and there's so much data to look at, and when you're looking at this data, whether it's war or you're looking at somebody that played on a bad team, and just balled out, you know what I'm saying, like Adrian Beltre, right? Like
Hmm.
didn't really have like in terms of accolades, you know, he didn't really do anything. But the man got 3,000 hits, and a whole bunch of, home runs, you know what I'm saying? But for the more majority of his career, he was consistent at like the top
Hmm.
of his position. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So people like that, their cases are becoming a lot more, you know what, he's a Hall of Famer back then what it was. You know what I'm saying? Because I felt like there wasn't a lot of data back then, and it was an older generation of voters where they didn't really take into account, oh man, he didn't win a championship, so he's not getting in. You know what I'm saying? Instead of looking at his whole career, like let's look how he actually played. You know what I'm saying? Based off of the other members of the Hall of Fame that you put in the same group. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of guys in the Hall of Fame that maybe had a longer career, but not necessarily the impact years. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And now you got, guys coming in that are legit, in terms of, really looking at all the data that you have to look at now. And I think
Yeah.
it's refreshing to put, some respect on some of these dudes' names. You know what I'm saying? Like to really, really put them in. And a person that I think should be in that that I think needs some love is I think Andrew Jones, man. I think that's my guy. If I had to make a case for him,
Mhm.
I would say he's my guy because you think about the Braves in the '90s. You can't talk about them without Andrew Jones. You can't.
True.
Like he was a part of it. He was a part of it into the 2000s. Like he was legit, probably one of the best outfielders defensively for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Like consistently, he was in the All Star game. Consistently, he was hitting for power, hitting for average. You know what I'm saying? I don't even want to get into the WAR because defensively, he was up there.
Yeah,
Offensively,
he
he
was
was
good.
up there. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that this player is not getting the respect he deserves, getting in the Hall of Fame, just kind of bothers me a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I think his case is becoming more magnified, if you know what I'm saying. Like, there's a lot of people looking at him like, if we put, Blow Joe in there, why can't we put Andrew Jones in there? You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like, you know, I get it that he might have not had a good like second half of his career, but hey, it just happens sometimes. Sometimes you just, it don't work out. You still a good player, but you go into the wrong situation sometimes. It
Yeah.
happens. So that's my guy, and that's my case for Andrew Jones. I think he had a very, very good early career into his prime, and I think the second half he just made some bad investments in places that he probably shouldn't have been, you know,
Yeah.
and they didn't really take care of him like that. And injuries go in there too, but I think he legit should get in just based off of his prime years and how he impacted the game. So,
Yeah.
yeah. This is episode 1 of Sports Talk with Cam and D. Hope
Yes,
you
sir.
hope you guys enjoyed it. We got more content on the way. Uh, uh, we we ready to give y'all exactly what you want. Uh, Anything else before we go, bro?
No, just be ready for episode 2. Keep your eyes open.
All right, later, y'all.
All right.